And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Going nuCLEar, full-blown coverage of the land, a part of collecting and connecting a good vibes community. I am Ethan Greenberg. Alongside of me is my co-host Mike Rasinski, and joining us once again is Carter Rasinski. Carter, that's a nice sweatshirt. I like that.
Thank you.
Excellent choice. An
Christmas
excellent choice.
present, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's a nice present. You got some people who give some good gift giving there. I don't know. I'm not much of a good gift giver. At least I don't think so. I'm like, why don't I give you a gift card? You choose what you want yourself, right?
You give the good gift of a nice radio broadcast for
Well,
D3
there it,
basketball, right? That's your gift. Gift of
it
voice.
I, you know. All right, I'll take that one. I'm going to take that win there, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Carter, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Excellent. Yeah, having a it's solid another week of school here. We're getting towards what spring break at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Are you going to head down to Panama City? Maybe go clubbing.
No, we're going to Hawaii.
Whoa! Hey now. All right, maybe
Yeah,
we'll hang
this
out with
is
man
our
with Dylan
big
Gabriel.
leaving one career, going to another career trip. So big retirement trip for the family. So yep, it's gonna be a long 13-hour plane ride, but we'll get there hopefully.
Well, you'll fly if you need to. You'll just take
Yeah,
over, right?
if needed, right? Yeah,
If
yeah,
needed. Now, are you going to be critiquing the pilot?
100%. That's what we do every time.
Okay, good. You need to hold them accountable. I want to make sure you have to talk to all the flight attendants, make sure that they are in line with the beverage cart, etc. Making sure they're giving the instructions. The exits are here and here and here. You know, be sure to take care. Be sure to put on your own mask before helping
There
others.
you go. See, you got a second career ready for you too.
I do. I
Well
do.
lined up.
Wait a
Yeah.
second. The key is, can I say bye bye, bye bye.
There you go.
If you're old enough to remember that Saturday Night Live skit, you're middle aged like us.
I
So,
am, yes.
yeah, good times there. Well, first of all, just want to, of course, thank Paulie Campione for having us part of Collecting and Connecting, and let everybody know tonight 8:30. Check out an all new Collecting and Connecting. If you're following the Collecting and Connecting YouTube page, that's where you're watching us. Be sure to check them out at 8:30. They have guest, I guess, Levi Dobrinsky on there tonight. So let's talk. What shall we talk first, Mike? Shall we talk little Cavs? They're about to be on. There's not much going on with the Browns, but so what? And Carter, you're wearing Cavs gear. I mean, what?
I
So
think we
so
got to go that way. Yeah, yeah,
I
especially with the game tonight.
yes, absolutely. We are going to let them know because it's I think we should let everybody know. That we are talking about some Cavs here. And hello, I don't know who this is, but yes, hello. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. Rematch with the Pistons tonight, guys. No Mitchell in this one. He is dealing with a groin injury, according to Brian Windhurst earlier this week when he was on with the fellows on ESPN Cleveland. He was discussing that it's possible, or maybe it was even at the end of last week, that he may not play tonight, because if he doesn't play tonight, we've got 4 days off after this. Gives him a nice 10-day rest. James Harden, Keon Ellis, both dealing with some broken fingerage. I guess Dean Wade's going to be playing tonight.
Does that happen to other teams? Broken fingers, by the way. It seems to be an epidemic with our team. You had, I mean, how many times has Allen broken his finger? And now we got
Right.
these two guys.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It is in fact kind of crazy. Yes. Yes. Hello there. Yes. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I don't know. I mean, I know when I played basketball in my youthful days, which I can't do anymore because I am old and I get winded very easily. I had a propensity for jamming my finger. I don't even know how these guys ended up breaking fingers. I'm just glad that for both of them, it's not on their shooting hands.
Yeah.
But I guess first of all, like, what did you think of the game against the Pistons on Friday night? In terms of just how they were able to play without, no Mitchell, no Harden, no Wade. I mean, it was like kind of a skeleton crew.
Yeah. And it was in Detroit too. And there's a pretty raucous arena. It just shows how adaptable this team is. Does it have something to do with Harden coming in and able to be, have that veteran presence and organize the team a little bit? I wonder if that how much of a role that plays, but it was nice to see this scrappy crew play. And I mean, honestly, they should have won the game. I'm sure we'll talk about the rest at some point, but whether with or without the missed calls, they should have won the game. But yeah, it was encouraging. It was a fun game to watch. It was encouraging to see them play that well with all those guys missing, which I wasn't expecting at all.
Right. I mean, you look at it. Here's the rotation. So it was Allen Mobley, Schroeder, Maryland, Tyson were your starters. Tomlin, Bryant, Craig Porter Jr., and Tyrese Proctor off the bench. They did, and Keon Ellis couldn't play either because of his finger, and Larry Nance didn't get. He was glued to the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I thought it was a great performance. It was a gutsy performance. They're continuing to play well. I'm encouraged that Jared Allen continues to be engaged.
That is
And
great to see. Yes.
he is a key. And they can't forget about him. I mean, when Tim came on with us, he talked about how Coach Kenny told him, dude, we need this all the time. Basically, I'm paraphrasing here, obviously, but it's tough when you don't have this lineup, your full complement of players on the regular. And I think they said, like, the other day, with whatever lineup it was going to be essentially in their 62nd game, it was their 31st different starting lineup. And that's just unbelievable. That is just unbelievable. I mean, Carter, we went and we got to see the Cavs up close and personal. At least, I know we all did once. I don't know if you guys have been to any more games, but I mean, have you been watching them? What do you think about their how they're playing these days, and the acquisition of James Harden and Ellis and Schroeder?
I think they've actually been playing really well from what they were expected to, like from the trade of like Darius Garland to Harden. But yeah, they've been playing really well than like they were expected to.
Right. It's nice to finally have them come into some form here, even though it's still it's tough. It's tough sledding, and I mean, I don't know what I'm just at a loss sometimes with
Well,
them.
what I feel bad about this game and then the game against Milwaukee was Schroeder, and the reason I say that he had good games in both of them, and he had chances to win or tie in both games. It was him with the ball at the end of both games, and he missed one layup at the end of the Milwaukee game, and Allen was a half a second too late to put it back. And then he had a chance to win it in Detroit after the, three free throws that they
Oh
got.
my
And
gosh.
he had like, what, 4 seconds to drive and he just lost the ball and went into overtime at that point. So you just think, I guess that's what really differentiates the superstars from just the really, really good players. The superstars close out the games. They're the ones that make these shots. And then you have these really good players that we have on our team, but they just can't, they don't have that, I don't know, killer instinct or
Well,
they just can't get it,
well,
to the finish line.
there's a different level. There's like a
Yeah.
guy who could be like a key every day. He is a rotation player. He's a starter versus an all-star versus like all NBA. There are various levels, and I think
Yeah.
Dennis Schroeder, he is great. I love that acquisition.
Absolutely.
He and
Yep.
Keon Ellis have been absolutely amazing, and really that's some great stuff there. Was it in? I don't even know. My brain is I'm thinking about so many games I've watched recently, and I mean, and thinking about bad officiating,
Oh yeah,
and
we definitely need to go there.
I can't remember if it was in a Cavs game that there was like a 5-point swing when there should have been a goaltending call, like as it went off the backboard, and then they came down and hit a three. I can't recall if that may have been. I'm losing track of it because it's so bad.
It's so bad. Like, yeah, I mean, the Cavs should have won the game anyways, but the officiating definitely cost them that game. The 2 minute report came out, as I know you saw too. Four missed calls in the last 2 minutes in overtime, and three of them went against the Cavs. And they're big ones too. It was the Allen fouling out, which, we were watching that live, and we even said that was a clean block. You had the Merrill 3-pointer where he should have been fouled, which would have tied up the game if he would have made all 3 of those in the last few seconds of overtime. And then I can't remember what the third one is either, but it was, even those 2 would have tilted the game in the game. And then think of this. So those were 4 bad calls in the last 2 minutes in overtime. And then the Cavs won 2 challenges. So that's at least 6 bad calls that the refs made. Now there better be, I'm going to be going nuclear early here, but they better be repercussions for this. Do the refs get fined or rated or something? Because that's awful. That decides the game right there.
It does, and that's my whole issue. Is one, I think you want consistency, but you also don't want consistently bad. If you're going to miss, you can't miss calls like that. And if you're going to publish it, I don't know. Is the idea to publish it simply so that people can look at it and say, oh, okay, they're being transparent, that they acknowledge they made a mistake or they did get the call, whatever it is. It doesn't make me feel any better unless you're going to go back and fix the result and replay it. What's the point?
So why can't, baseball is coming in with this automatic ball strike system, series of cameras that are so precise, it knows exactly if a ball's in a strike zone or not. Why can't you do something like that with the NBA? Like throw up 50 cameras around the arena, some kind of AI algorithm that can tell you if if a foul's been had or not. I think we're technologically advanced now, or the ref could just go over and ask ChatGPT, did Allen get the hand or the ball? And ChatGPT would look at the cameras and let them know.
I think so. Well, look, if you watch international soccer, you can with the VAR, the video assisted replay, they've got the sensors, and then you've got goal line technology. But I know who's Carter. You're going to create the technology, right? You're gonna perfect it. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So okay. So Carter, you do play basketball. How frustrated is it playing when you think you have refs that miss calls as you're playing? Do you shake it off? Does it linger? Like how is it when you're actually in the game and something like that happens?
I mean, like if you lose because of it, yeah, it sucks, but I feel like either way it sucks, but it sucks even more if you lose because of it.
Yeah.
So just what happened to the Cavs essentially against Detroit last game.
Yeah, Mike, I feel bad because I think they're the Cavs now. Is it kind of a carryover from the Browns that your frustration is starting to spill over? I think we need to have an intervention here.
Probably
because you're getting tired and frustrated being a Cleveland fan, and
yes.
and so let me ask it this way, because this is the way I kind of look at it. While it's frustrating when it's tough times and things don't go your way, and that happens more times than not, it was all worth it in 2016. And that's all I can think is that when all these bad things happen, you're like, okay, it's got at some point, and you stick with it for the glorious moment. That's the only thing I've got.
We've had one glorious moment in our lifetime. That's the only problem.
All right.
We're like the only city with one glorious lifetime for their fans that are in their mid 40s
all right.
older.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Although, it's all good there. So yeah, is it more in a game like the Cavs had, right? Against the Pistons? Is it more upsetting when the Cavs are in a game? Like, I didn't expect them to even be in the game.
Yeah, agreed.
Yet they're in it and they lose, versus if they had just gotten their butts kicked as we kind of expected, which is more upsetting. Carter, what do you think? Like, would you rather them just have gotten their butts kicked, or is it more upsetting that you're like, well, now you got me invested in the game and then you lose?
I'd honestly rather just be like blown out, because like you never had a hope and you weren't expecting a win. So
There it
like
is.
it's just like not worth your time, and you can turn it off whenever, but when it's close and you lose, it's like I just wasted all that time watching just for them to lose a really close game that they should have won.
Exactly. Mike, what do you follow
Well,
the same philosophy as this young philosopher?
this is a hard one because I do know the way that any Cleveland team loses is usually in the most heartbreaking fashion ever. So I'm just used to I'm invested in the game and then I get sorely disappointed, which I guess has made me numb to it, which is good because it makes it easier to swallow. And I guess we're more resilient because of that. Um, but I don't know. I guess I'd rather, it's almost like would I rather watch that Oklahoma City Cavs game where it was like 25-3 and I was like ready to
Right.
turn it off, or the Pistons game where it's actually kind of fun to watch. I had more fun watching the Pistons game, even though both were losses. So I guess I would rather watch the close ones.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more frustrated watching the close ones. But you're right. I'd rather watch it than to get them just completely creamed. I mean that's
Yeah.
so frustrating. I mean that Friday night, I went into Friday night going, this is going to be a doubly bad evening, and the Cavs almost salvaged it. Unfortunately, Kent State,
Mm.
like, just they look like the redheaded stepchild, to Akron, and I'm very very upset about this.
Well, for both teams, it only matters in the playoffs.
In
We
the
just got to
tournament,
get
yeah,
one in the playoffs for Kent and for the Cavs.
that's right. That is correct there. Um, in the Eastern, so right now, I mean, I know the Cavs are on right now. They're off to a good start here. Looks like I'm looking at 9-2, so somewhere
Yep.
thereabouts for the score. Um, Good, and that is good to see. Let's see if they can pour it on. I know that the players, apparently, reports coming out of the locker room, they're saying, yeah, Detroit, nah, we're not afraid. We're not, you know, uh, we're not worried about you. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing to be feeling that way.
Well, the good thing is that their coach usually chokes in the playoffs, so um,
I don't know.
we got
Maybe he
that
can.
going for
Maybe he
us.
can. Maybe he can choke on a buzzer.
Yeah, yeah.
And yes, and okay, okay. This is a great question because Mike in the UK, thanks for tuning in. Can Akron please end Miami of Ohio? If it does end up being Akron and Miami of Ohio in the conference title game, are you rooting? Are we pulling for Akron?
No, no,
Are we
never.
are we rooting against Miami?
So there's two schools of thought here. The MAC never gets two teams in. So if
Right.
Miami makes it to the finals and they lose, they're probably still in, and whoever wins is still in. It'd be great to see two MAC teams in. On the other hand, in the school of thought that I go with, I just hate Akron, so I just want them to lose. And especially with how Kent has fared against Akron lately,
That's
it makes
kind of
me hate them more.
That's a really, really strong point. I was in the school of I'm really angry with Miami because they act like they're God's gift to basketball right now, and they're skating by. They're
Oh yeah,
barely getting by. So I feel like I want them to lose.
they almost
But
lost to Western Michigan, and
yeah,
their coach threw a tantrum and broke some DJ equipment. And
they,
now, yeah, I don't know if you saw that. He has to got fined and has to pay the DJ back.
yeah, that's crazy. Did you see they're building a brand new I think they've approved, or
Yeah.
I saw a story they're going to build a brand new basketball arena, down there at Miami of Ohio. I mean, it's been in the works, but yeah, they need to replace Malay. Remember, we went to Malay Hall, Malay. We're like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Well, it's J. Crew U. They can probably afford it.
They probably can. Um, in the Eastern Conference now, um, all of a sudden, and I guess not even all of a sudden, the Celtics are the number 2 seed, and it's sounding like Jason Tatum is going to come back from that injury that occurred in the second round of last year's playoffs. He had a ruptured Achilles. I mean, how concerned should Cavs fans be with the Celtics if they weren't already concerned? If we were to have to meet up with them at this point, potentially the only matchup would be in like the Eastern Conference Finals, and they'd have home court. How scary is that?
Yeah. So we're gonna let Carter get off now. He's got homework to do. So
All right.
go
Well,
go
thank
get
you
that
very
done,
much,
Carter.
sir. Appreciate you chiming in, and go Cavs, and have a good evening, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, sir.
And
Bye.
and
Bye-bye.
I love this question too because I mean the Celtics are doing really well without him. And what comes to my mind is how much does that disrupt the team they have right now, bringing him back? Because I don't think it's going to take him time to work into to get his fitness back, to work into game shape, to fit in with this new team they have and what they've been doing. So it could actually disrupt them for a while. And that's honestly what I'd see, especially this late in the season.
Right.
So I mean, they could. Everybody says it's going to be a good thing, but I could actually see this hurting them, which is really what I would like. That's what I
Well,
want to happen.
well, that's definitely what I would like. Because I don't know how. I mean, isn't it crazy on two fronts with these Achilles injuries? One, the number of Achilles tendon injuries we see,
Yeah,
and two, how quickly these guys are recovering.
yeah, yeah. I guess modern medicine, the miracles of modern medicine. But I guess that's what really concerns me about Evan Mobley's calf injuries because you usually see the Achilles injuries after sustained calf injuries.
Right. And
So
I think that's why they're being so cautious with him. And
yeah,
I can it frustrates me, but I understand it. And Mike asks a good question. What about Max Struess? How's that?
yeah. I think this year he's just going to have to be a bench or a role player
Oh yeah,
if he
absolutely.
ever does come back. Because
Absolutely. He will be a coming off the bench and being a role player. And he could be, I mean, that's what we're gonna need. There's gonna come a time we're gonna need a little bit more scoring. I am so frustrated. Like I appreciate the defensive effort sometimes of Dean Wade. They talked about him in that game against the Knicks and how well he defends against guys like Jalen Brunson. But for crying out loud, dude, he disappears sometimes, and
yeah,
it's infuriating. I'm like, and then he's constantly having injuries. It's so just that's frustrating. Oh boy, good. Looks like the Cavs and Pistons are tied at 11 now. Good, great. Well, we had that. It's all right. Those early leads, they go away rather quickly. Let's hope they can figure that out. All right. Well, moving on real quick from the Cavs are kind of like the big thing in town. It's their time to shine right now. But just real quick, let's talk a little Brownies here. The dirt is being moved in Brook Park. I mean, where I guess it's happening.
no going back now. No buyer's remorse.
No, there is no buyer's remorse. It is happening. So I don't know about you. I mean, I'm excited for when they do finally get it built. I don't know how I'll be able to afford a ticket. But um, at least I know that if I'm going to a game, if I don't have to worry about the weather as the one factor since I'm coming from out of town. Theoretically, we've talked about it before.
Mhm.
That's just another. That's kind of like a thing, a minor inconvenience. Let's hope they have a good football team. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, the bigger inconvenience.
Yeah, it's like, are you excited or is it like, okay, why don't you go and win some football games first?
Yeah. They got a few years to figure it out. Hopefully they'll
They,
have a quarterback by then, but
I hope so as well. The draft is going to certainly be interesting. The draft combine, I don't know that I learned a lot out of that because, a lot of guys don't even participate anymore. I don't know what to make of Carnell Tate's 40 time. Maybe that makes him last to 6 or a little bit later if we go that route. The
yeah.
Browns made a trade with the Texans, one of our favorite trading partners, to get right tackle Titus Howard. Guys, like what? He's been in the league already for I think 7 years. I mean, what do you make of that move and how that shapes the offensive line and what they might potentially do in the draft?
Yeah, I like it. Everything I read, he's an above average player, and they're addressing, I think, the number one need right now, which is offensive line. So I like it. Free agency is going to start here, I think, next week. Hopefully, we get a couple more big signings on the line, and then we can address the rest of the draft. So I think it's nice that they're starting now with trades. So I'm a big fan. You give them a fifth rounder.
We gave up
Who
the we gave
cares?
up the Vegas we gave up the pick we got from the Raiders for Kenny Pickett. It's the
Yeah,
gift that keeps on giving.
Kenny Pickett for a starter on the line.
I agree. I definitely agree because I think let's think about it. If you were to go and draft in the 5th round, kind of funny enough, Shador Sanders 5th round, but nevertheless, theoretically, you're not
Theoretically.
expecting a 5th rounder to immediately start, right?
Right. Yes.
So
But yeah.
I think that that's good. Let's see what else they do if they retain if Batonio decides to come back. That's certainly helpful. DeJuan Jones, maybe he's not penciled in at the tackle position, but certainly he's very good if he can stay healthy. It is a
Yeah.
beast. And did you see that their sources are saying the Cardinals, kind of move off the Browns after this, but sources are saying the Cardinals are telling Kyler Murray he'll be released next week. If he was affordable, would you consider the Browns? Would you want the Browns to consider going after him?
If we could, yeah, I'd say yeah. I would like to. I would rather have the quarterback competition be him and Shador than Watson and Shador, which it sounds like it's gonna be.
Right. We can't
If
get
we
rid of
could
the
just
guy.
dump Watson, yeah, I'm all for it. I just hope it doesn't turn into another like 3 or 4 way quarterback competition. That's my only fear.
Right. We can't have that. I mean, that's for sure. Can't have that. I would say if he is available for the right price, free agency, they're going to set the mark, who other teams are going to set the market, and he's going to want a
Yeah.
lot of money, as opposed to a trade potentially with the Cardinals and under his current contract. I have no idea. So it may not be in the cards, no pun intended.
Whatever happened to him, by the way? Like, how did he? I don't, obviously don't follow the Cardinals, but going from this unstoppable dual threat quarterback to where he is now, do you have any idea of how he fell so fast?
Well, I mean, I was just reading that, reading up a little bit on his 7 seasons. And I mean, they only had one playoff appearance in all 16 games in 2019 and 2020, missed 3 games in 2021 and 6 in 2022 after he tore his ACL in December of that season. Then he returned for the last 8 games of 2023, played every game 2024, and then he only played 5 games last year with a foot injury, and then it was the Brissett Express. I mean, he's a small guy. He's slight. He has injuries, and
So would we have 2 quarterbacks under 6 feet? Him and Dylan Gabriel?
no, Dylan Gabriel needs to go to Atlanta. Can we please get rid of him? And there you go, cheap. So why not as a backup? But I think he'll end up on the Vikings. They want to move on. Yeah, the Vikings. They definitely need a quarterback. So do and for them, so does Miami. They're
Yeah, you're
moving
right.
on from Tua. They need a quarterback.
So
And
that
the
means
draft.
Tua's available.
We've already got Timu Tua. We don't need him. We do not need that Tua. So I don't know. Everyone gets links to the Browns, but of all the guys that have been linked to them recently, whether Malik Willis, no thanks. Don't need another project. Tua, no thanks. I don't know which other jabroni they've linked to us, but I'm like, no, don't talk to me about Ty Simpson. None of that. So, anyway, and they used a transition tag, the Colts did on Danny Dimes. Interesting stuff there. One last thing here. We'll go to before we go nuCLEar. Let's see. Oh, and that's the other thing. I do not want Anthony Richardson, Mike. I do not want him. That is another one of the guys I do not want. Talk a little Gardos. Spring training, they lose in the Cactus League today to the Dodgers. Manzardo went yardo with a grand salami. Unfortunately, that happened in the first inning, and that was all the runs the Guardians could muster all day. Is this a surprise?
That we can only muster 4 runs.
Hey, 4 runs is an overachievement.
Yeah. No, I'm just excited. Spring training to me, I think it's zero indication of how the season's going to go. So I'm just happy they're down there playing ball, and we're like a month away from opening day, less than a month away now.
I know. Very exciting stuff. We start out on the West Coast in Seattle and with those Dodgers. It seems like some guys that are hitting the ball pretty well are DeLauder, And
Yeah, if he stays healthy.
Him and his low body soreness is frustrating.
Yeah.
Does Bo hit?
Yeah, they say he has a revamped swing. We'll see. I've heard that before, but we'll see.
Hopefully. Well, I mean, in the playoffs, he wasn't, or he wasn't horrible. After AB, apparently he had some tutoring with allegedly with Mr. Albert, formerly Joey Bell.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
You did not? Yes, that was some. There was some scuttlebutt, some discussion.
Oh.
That in fact he got a little lessonage from AB there, not AB Laser Eyes in Berea, not that clown, but it would be a pleasant surprise if he could suddenly start hitting.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
bring things along. Well, with that, Mike, I know we're kind of doing a little abbreviated here. You got some fam in town. The Cavs are on, so we'll get to that. But why don't you, Mike, tell us what has you going nuclear?
For me, besides the refs in the Cavs Pistons games or just NBA refs in general, I'm going to go with how the MLB is punishing the Guardians for this gambling scandal, in such that we are required to honor the salaries not only for last year but also for this year because the court date has been moved to October. So MLB is saying these players cannot play, but MLB is saying you must still pay them. So there is no choice. It's a zero choice for the Guardians. If they had the opportunity, I'm sure they just release them. Or you'd want the MLB to suspend them so you wouldn't have to pay them. So since we have no salary cap, and then there is wide disparity in the funds of every team. Now the guards that are a cash-strapped team have to pay a player that will not play for them, and they have no choice but to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, our owner is talking some nonsense like this.
I do not have the money. Okay?
That's right.
I mean, apparently they've got that in Cincinnati in football, but they don't have that and we've got it in baseball in Cleveland. And I don't know why they couldn't suspend him without pay. I mean, at this juncture, there seems to me there's enough to do that. That's ridiculous, honestly. I got to be honest, I had not even seen that. I don't know, them talking about roosters and throw it at the rooster at its feet or something like that. Okay. All right. Well, what has me going nuclear, we touched on it a little bit earlier, is Miami of Ohio. Now, in my opinion, I already kind of said this. I don't want to see him go undefeated, and I really don't necessarily want them to win the MAC championship. But let's say they have one loss. What has me going nuclear is the national media and guys like Bruce Pearl basically saying they don't belong in the big dance. And that's just outright disrespectful. I understand their out of conference schedule is not great. It really isn't, honestly. But you mean to tell me if they had one loss in the conference championship, they shouldn't get a bid instead of some 20-loss SEC team? Get the heck out of here. I don't need a mid SEC table or bottom tier SEC or Big Ten team getting in the tournament over a one loss, quote unquote, mid major school. That's just unrealistic and ridiculous. And I'm so frustrated with the way that the national pundits are. And apparently Toledo is doing nothing against them right now. Mike, thank you for the update there. The Rockets are their launch has been canceled. They're not going up. So the national media and their disrespect toward the mid majors, Miami of Ohio is and that's a good. Miami deserves it more than Ohio State. Ohio State has like one good win, and they're talking about them suddenly being, in. Get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. No way. So that is what has me going nuclear. So
well said.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody who tuned in. Thank you, Mike from the UK. Thank you, everyone who, commented. Really do appreciate that. Go enjoy the rest of the Cavs game and all your evening. Again, be sure to stay tuned. 8:30, an all-new episode of Collected and Connectin'. Make sure you like and subscribe to Collected and Connectin's YouTube page and all of our social medias here, and check everybody out. And until next time, for Mike Rasinski, I'm Ethan Greenberg, and you've been tuned in to Going nuCLEar, full-blown coverage of the land.